Welcome to the University Network TV, where we scan the globe to give students, their families, and educators the very best tips for student success. I'm your host today, Dr. Crystal Rose, and in this College Bound series, we have advice for high school seniors entitled Debunking the Top 5 Myths About Your Personal Statement for College Applications. If you are a high school senior applying to college, this is for you. We all know that the essays are one of the most difficult parts of the college admissions process, so anything that can bring clarity to make this a bit more straightforward is welcome. We're not doing this on our own. We're reviewing this with April Paris-Joseph, CEO of Paris Educational Solutions. To find out more about April, please see the link in the bio below. April has the college admission advice you want to hear. Welcome, April. Thank you for joining to help us debunk these myths around the personal statement using the acronym BU. To help guide us, we'll first explore the myths and then we'll debunk them using this acronym. Okay, what is the third myth that we're debunking about writing the personal statement?
Don't show off your SAT vocabulary. So here's the deal. I tell my students that you want the essay to be informal but not casual. So this should sound like you're speaking comfortably to an adult. But comfortably, not necessarily your favorite auntie, right? But that uncle, that friend of your parents, that teacher that you're comfortable with and have a good relationship with. And when you're talking to them, you aren't reaching into your thesaurus or your dictionary to come up with new words and new terms. No, it should read fluidly. You should be able to read your essay out loud and it should sound like a conversation. A good rule of thumb is actually if you had to use the thesaurus, you shouldn't use it. If you didn't know what the word meant before you started writing, you shouldn't be using it.
So it's not about trying to replace your words with SAT words. So what does the Y stand for when debunking this myth?
The Y we used here is for youth. And I say that one because there's always a few essays that I read that I'm like, man, you sound like not your father, but my father. Like, what year were you born? And admissions officers know what 17-year-olds sound like. Be 17.
And April, just for clarification, you're not suggesting that students cannot be mature or take up a mature subject, but it's really that the essay really should consistently reflect who you are, and it's okay to talk about something that is perhaps from a youthful perspective, and not to discount that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I would just, to kind of underscore your point, I would say that some of our young people actually are more profound thinkers about tough topics than sometimes we want to be as adults. So no, this isn't about the depth of the content. It's about the form of expressing yourself.
What is the fourth myth we're debunking regarding writing the personal essay for college applications?
So this is funny. So, the other way to look at it, right, is like we really got to dig deeper. So kids love to say like, oh, I'm going to talk about how I'm passionate about soccer. Okay, that's great. You're passionate about soccer. Lots of people are passionate about soccer. Why? Why are you passionate about soccer? And a lot of times they're like, oh, it's fun. No. You live in a town where everybody's playing American football, but you picked soccer. What's that about? Oh, your parents aren't born in this country. Oh, you have this global perspective where you understand that soccer is actually football and everyone else in the world values it more highly than American football that's super popular here. And then maybe you even equate that to politics and you understand how it brings people together. I don't know, but dig down for that kind of detail and tell us about that, not just I love soccer.
Nice. It sounds like details do matter when writing the personal statement. So what does the O stand for when debunking this myth?
So the O stands for open up. Open up and really tell us about who you are. I'm going to side this with a little bit of a caution. Open up to the point that you're comfortable. You don't have to write about the trauma that you aren't healed from. You don't have to pick the challenge in your life that is so vulnerable for you that you're uncomfortable. You should feel comfortable. The admissions office, they haven't earned your trust yet. But if it is something you're comfortable writing about and it's true to who you are, then yes, share that with us.
O for being open or optionally open. You want to take the opportunity to really be transparent about your thinking, not just staying on the surface.
This is one of my favorites. Someone else who got into the Ivy can edit my essay well. Ooh, that person wrote a really good essay for themselves. And do they really understand what admissions offices are looking for? Do they understand what the point of the essay is? And can they really help you craft and create the story about yourself? No, they're good at their story. It just can often not really go well. This idea that you got into the school and therefore you know how to get into the school isn't really true. And maybe you should be seeking help somewhere else.
My takeaway, it sounds like expertise is relative and can't be generalized. So what does the U stand for when debunking this myth?
U stands for understand, which is understand what are you trying to do and who can really help you.
All of this is easier said than done. Of course, if you're a student, you're writing your personal statement, you may need to take advantage of resources, whether at your high school or in your community, or seek out professional college consultants or planners. Thank you, April, for this excellent discussion and debunking these myths around personal statements.
Thank you.
And to our audience, thank you very much for joining us for this episode of the University Network's television show, Paris Educational Solution. Check out the link to Paris Educational Solutions blog below. Hopefully, writing your personal statement will be that much clearer from the myths that we debunked around the personal statement for your college applications. And now, with the acronym BU, you'll be able to craft your best personal essay. Here's to your success. I'm your host, Dr. Crystal Rose. Until next time on TUN TV.